What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a vintage collection market update. We also want to talk about the Ghost, how that is tracking with the Haslab project, and I found a really good Instagram post that I want to show you guys. But mostly, I've got TVC 1.0, a couple of new releases just to give you an idea of what the resale market is already looking like for some of these figures. And as you can see by this thumbnail, the original Ahsoka continues to drop in price. It's unbelievable how cheap it is now. And Princess Leia in her Sandstorm outfit continues to go up in price. So lots of stuff in between that we'll talk about. But first, I wanted to talk about this Instagram post. And this, I want to make sure to give proper credit where credit is due. Riv's Junctionite is the one who posted this yesterday as of the making of this video. And he compared in a graph what the Haslab backing for the new Ghost is with the Razor Crest. And the green is the Razor Crest as of day 10 of the Haslab project for each of them. So the Razor Crest stood at 93.18 backers. And the Ghost is at 91.05. 91.05. So given the price difference, that's a pretty incredible comparison there, and it's very closely tracking, although the last few days have been somewhat slow, and I'll show you where we are right now in a second. But let's go through his post here. And he says, you'll see from this graph that I've given up comparing the Ghost to anything else because it is still within 2% of the Razor Crest performance, showing you that in general the Ghost has been pretty popular so far. By this point in the campaign, the Razor Crest had hit a third of its final total, and so he's predicting 27,000 backers for the Ghost when it's all said and done. And he said we can expect Ezra, another tier, to be unlocked on August 10th, Kanan to be unlocked on August 31st, and Zeb Aurelius to be unlocked on September 3rd. And so he's expecting the 27,000 to be the final number, and he's hoping that Hasbro will release a mock-up of Sabine Wren to be unlocked as of the 20,000 unit tier mark. So we'll see if that happens or not, but I would expect that probably to be the case, and that would kind of fill out the entire Rebels team for the Haslab project. So hopefully that does happen, but just wanted to give you that post because I thought it was a really cool comparison there, looking at the Ghost versus the Razor Crest and how closely it's tracking despite the price difference and the size difference and all the other unlocks that are pretty substantial. Here's where we are right now as of August 1st. Obviously, I release these videos a little bit later. I try to have videos daily for you guys, so this video information is going to be a little bit outdated. But at least as of the morning of August 1st, the Ghost sits at 92.36 backers. So we'll see how closely Riv's Junctionite is with his predictions on the tier unlocks, but I wanted to share that information with you. Let's dig into some TVC, mainly 1.0, that have sold here recently on eBay. And the first one is Darth Sidious VC12. This one was a beautiful case-fresh example on the foil Ultimate Galactic Hunt card back. That one sold in a buy-it-now situation for $100 plus $8 shipping. So pretty good deal there. I don't know what it is, but it's particular for Clone Commander Cody and Darth Sidious on the foil card backs. It just really pops. I just love the way that looks on the foil card back especially, and Clone Commander Cody. Next up was the Magna Guard. This one is the standard retail release with the non-foil card back. This one also was a punched example. We obviously have talked about how unpunched examples go for insane money. I think the last data point I remember is $420, but don't quote me on that. There might have been one more that was around $380. I'm pulling these numbers out of my head, so I don't know how accurate that is, but that's for unpunched. But for punched, I found 5 different data points that all sold recently for Magna Guard in a punched example, non-foil card back. So that gives you a very good price target to aim for, $75 plus shipping. Next up, speaking of Clone Commander Cody, here he is on the non-foil card back. Obviously, this one is a punched example. We know how expensive the unpunched ones are. This one sold for $155 in a buy it now situation, plus $11 shipping. R2-D2. This one is one that continues to hold its price pretty well. And for the punched example, VC25, I'm sorry, this is an unpunched example. I did find a punched example that sold for $68, but this unpunched example was a pretty nice looking card, although it does look to me like the punch is a little loose there. And it was kind of added back in, maybe, I don't know. But it looks loose. It doesn't look loose on the front, but on the back there, the punch looks very, very iffy. So I'll leave it at that. But that one did sell in an auction, only one bid for $80 plus free shipping. But R2-D2 with his kind of Jabba's sail barge drink tray, VC25, that one has really held its value and hasn't come down all that much. Next up is another Han Solo Yavin Ceremony. I mean, you guys need to fill me in on this. Why is this one so expensive? It's a terrible face sculpt. I mean, that looks like Han Solo back, in Indiana Jones 5. Not a great face sculpt, but this one continues to be very, very expensive. I found a couple of data points now that are over $100. This one sold for 120 pounds, which is 154 US dollars. Unpunched example, VC42. Next up is the mail-away rocket firing Boba Fett, unpunched. Although the card back does look like it's got some scuffing and things like that, so it was not mint by any means. That one sold for 135 Canadian dollars, which is 102 US dollars. That's a pretty decent deal, I suppose, although the card was not in great shape. It was just kind of like, 80 plus grade condition. Next up was another one. This one was signed by Jeremy Bulloch. This is the second one I've seen signed by Jeremy Bulloch in the last month or so. The other one was in the U.S. and sold for, I don't remember, but it was like in the high 200s, maybe mid 200s. This one sold in the U.K. for 155 pounds, which is 200 US dollars plus shipping. That's a pretty good deal, and that card back looked to be in great shape, much better shape than the first one I just showed you. Princess Leia Sandstorm, unpunched. This one continues again to go up in value. It seems to be really hovering in that 150 to 180 price range. This one sold for $177.50 plus another $20 shipping. Admittedly, this one was in the Netherlands. So, who knows what the supply issue is for this particular figure over in the UK or in Europe in general. But, almost $200 now for an unpunched Princess Leia Sandstorm outfit. Next up, I found two different data points for Oddball, and they're all over the place. This one sold for $77.50 in an auction, 7 bids. That was a great deal. That's the lowest I've seen for Oddball in a little while there. And the card looked to be in pretty good condition. This one also sold in a buy it now situation. It was listed for $130. The best offer on that one that was accepted was $115 free shipping. But that's, if you think about percentage-wise in terms of the price difference there, I mean, $77.50 plus $8 shipping, so let's call that $95 or $85 versus $115. I mean, that's a pretty big price swing for two different unpunched VC97 oddballs. Next up was a Shea Vizsla original release VC101. This one was only an 80 grade. So, again, for modern items, that seems a little low. It looks like, I can't tell what the grades are there. Let's see, we got a card 90, blister 80, figure 90. So two high sub-scores, but there must have been a ding or something on the blister to get an 80 score. Unpunched, and that one sold for $120. I've seen them sell for about this price ungraded, if not a little bit less, maybe 100 to 110 or so. But this one did sell for $120 plus another $17 shipping. So, I guess for an already graded example for the original release Shea Vizsla, that's not a terrible deal. Next up, Ahsoka. Can you believe how cheap Ahsoka is? I mean, look at these prices. This one was an unpunched first release VC102 Ahsoka, and it looked to be in pretty great shape overall. I mean, maybe, well, this one did have a little bit of a crease there. I didn't see that when I pulled this one up. But that one did sell for $128.50. And this one was in pretty impeccable condition. Maybe one little edge wear there on the far left side. But the rest of the card looked really great condition. This is probably an 85 grade. Pretty easily, I think. And that one sold for $153.50. I mean, it's crazy how cheap the VC102 is. I mean, if you can live with that little ding there, that's admittedly a pretty decent spider vein. For $128.50 free shipping. And this one was in pretty impeccable shape with just one little scuff there on the left-hand side. That one sold for $153.50 plus $14 shipping. So, I mean, geez, I cannot believe how much that one has dropped. I mean, that's a good solid, I would say 50% price drop in the last 6 months. I mean, it's unbelievable. Orimarco Prune Face. This one sold in Australia for 158 Australian dollars, which is 105.90 US dollars. That one has come down probably another 15 to 20% in price. This was going 125 all day long. So that one down in Australia sold for 105. Darth Vader Emperor's Wrath VC 115. That one sold for $145. This one was a punched example. So yeah, this one was a punched example. This one's got a background or something going on there. I don't know what's going on there. I think he had something in the background, so it looks unpunched from the front, but on the back it is a punched example. VC 115 for about 150 after shipping. Speaking of another item that's dropped in price, that's the 501st Legion ARC Troopers 3-pack special action figure set. That one sold for $76 free shipping. I mean, this one was going for $175 last year, so that is more than a 50% drop in that one. Next up, we do have those recent release Boba Fett's with kind of the alternate paint schemes. Both of these together, this seller had 3 of those, so 3, and you get both of them in each order. All 3 orders sold out. And so this is the comic art edition, Death, Lies, and Treachery. I like that one. That one's really cool. And then this is the one I've got that was courtesy of Tim over at Boss Bounty. He sent me that one as a gift. Vintage comic art. I love that one. But both of those are really cool. I mean, they're starting to show up at Target stores as covered by Brett on Fett. He's been hunting those at Target. He did find one the other day. I saw his Instagram post. But anyway, $75 free shipping for both of those is what they're reselling for on eBay. All 3 orders did sell out. And then finally, we had the SDCC Carbon Freezing Chamber. This one did include the Jar Jar and Carbonite, and the Jar Jar and Carbonite looked to be in great shape, unpunched, really decent shape for the card back. But for that whole set, this seller had it listed for $599.99 plus $34 shipping. Only one bid on that one. So I think that was a pretty good buy, though, given what Jar Jar and Carbonite sells for by itself. But somebody picked that up for about $635 shipped. Pretty good deal on that one. So admittedly, the box was not in great shape, but still, that's a pretty decent pickup, if only just for the Jar Jar and Carbonite. So anyway, there's your Haslab Ghost update, as well as some pretty cool information from that Instagram post, as well as some recent sales. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll be back soon.